unbeatable.
Welcome back everybody to the Johnny Guitar channel, and welcome back to Skyrim Anniversary Edition, Brutal Survival. And over the last couple weeks, Jane, who has just recently returned here to Skyrim, has been learning a lot about Ulfric Stormcloak, who he is, and what his motivations are behind the Stormcloak Rebellion. And today, after learning from Ulfric himself that he studied with the Greybeards, high atop the throat of the world, Jane has decided to give the Greybeards a little visit. So, today we're going to be heading up the 3,000 steps. We're going to be talking to the Greybeards, and I'm hoping that the Greybeards have some sort of dialogue regarding Ulfric Stormcloak. Otherwise, Jane has joined the Stormcloak Rebellion, and she will be working with Ulfric Stormcloak, but rather hesitantly. Currently, she has the Jagged Crown. She does not know if she wants to return it to Ulfric. Let us begin.
Fools are actually fighting. Teach you to mess with me.
Okay, dear Keithis, let's go ahead and read. So I've heard that climbing up these steps is a bit of a pilgrimage. Even though the Greybeards live at the top, there are many people who kind of just climb these steps and they read these plates or etched tablets. Emblem number 1. Before the birth of men, the dragons ruled all Mundus. Their word was the voice, and they spoke only for the true needs, for the voice could blot out the sky and flood the land. Okay, I have a feeling we're going to be learning about the Thume that Ulfric used against High King Torrig. And that's kind of what Jane's mission is, to learn more about Ulfric, learn more about this Thume weapon. And ultimately, her brother has gone missing. He joined the Stormcloak Rebellion, and no one has heard from him since. And Ulfric Stormcloak, being a Jarl, doesn't know every little measly soldier that joins his rebellion. So Jane has a couple things she's working on here. Okay, you gonna keep up with me, Dirkesis?
Keep an eye out for wolves. I did. Strange days when the monks will do that. I wonder what it means. I like to spend time up here. Walk the steps. Meditate on the emblems. Doesn't hurt when I bag some game along the way. They're not the sort to take visitors. But I never go that high up the path anyway. Some folk who make the trip leave them food or other essentials, but not to make conversation. All right then.
Men were born and spread over the face of Mundus. The dragons presided over the crawling masses. Men were weak then and had no voice.
unbeatable.
Emblem 3. The fledgling spirits of men were strong in old times, unafraid to war with dragons and their voices, but the dragons only shouted them down and broke their hearts.
I feel unbeatable.
Keep an eye. Is that magic? Careful, please. I was just outside Iverstead when it happened. It's an exciting moment. Nothing like this has happened in centuries. Just a pilgrim. I'd prefer to leave it at that, if you don't mind. Walking the steps, meditating on the emblems. I make this trip every few years. All right, then.
Emblem 4. Kine called on Parthenax, who pitied man. Together they taught men to use the voice. Then dragon war raged, dragon against tongue. Wait a minute, so Kine and Parthenax taught men to use the Thume? Interesting.
Yeah?
Unbeatable.
Emblem 5. Man prevailed, shouting out of Alduin out of the world, proving for all that their voice too was strong, although their sacrifices were many-fold. So Alduin shot, or men shouted Alduin out of the world the first time. Are you getting all this, Darkethis? This isn't, I mean, being a Nord, I knew all of this on some level, but I guess I never really studied it, nor did I think about it too much. It was just kind of in the background as lore and stories. Emblem 6. With roaring tongues, the Sky Children conquer, founding the first empire with sword and voice, whilst the dragons withdrew from this world. Dirkethis, I thought that was a bear. I totally thought that was a bear for a moment. Okay. I'm also curious as to what the Greybeards think of the Civil War. You listening, Dirkethis? Just keep moving. I don't want you freezing to death, buddy. But yeah, I wonder if the Greybeards side with one side or another. They are ancient and they are following ancient Nord customs. So you'd think they would side with Ulfric Stormcloak, but he got kicked out of the Greybeards. Okay, here we go, Dirkethis. Let me do the talking. One more etch tablet. Emblem 9? Did I miss an emblem? I missed one. For years, all silent, the Greybeards spoke one name, Tiber Septim. Stripling then was summoned to Hrothgar. They blessed and named him Dovahkiin. Tiber Septim. Yeah, I think we missed a couple. I feel like I only read 5 of them, but this one is number 9? Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. We gotta get in here, buddy. Hopefully the Greybeards will allow me to come in there and start asking questions as I do. Hopefully they'll answer any of my questions about Ulfric Stormcloak. Let's just keep an open mind, okay, Dirkethis? Let's keep an open mind. And yeah.
So, a Dragonborn appears at this moment in the turning of the age. First, let us see if you truly are Dragonborn. Let us taste of your voice. Shout at us, and let us taste of your voice.
Yeah, I got it, buddy. One of the reasons Jane is interested in the Thu'um is because, while she was in the Imperial Legion in Morrowind and Blackmarch, she knew a battle mage. She got close to him. He taught her all the magic that she knows. But he also let her know that as a Nord, she naturally can do the Thu'um if she practices. So Jane actually, in addition to knowing a battle cry, which frightens her enemies, she does know a bit of a Thu'um. She figured it was just an old Nordic ability.
Strike us with the power of your voice.
Okay, I'll do it. I swear I'll...
Foos!
Dragonborn, it is you. Welcome to High Hrothgar. I am Master Arngir. I speak for the Greybeards. Now, tell me, Dragonborn, why have you come here? We are the Greybeards, followers of the Way of the Voice. You stand in High Hrothgar, on the slopes of Kinnarith's sacred mountain. Here we commune with the voice of the sky and strive to achieve balance between our inner and outer selves. We are here to guide you in that pursuit, just as the Greybeards have sought to guide those of the dragon blood that came before you. You are not the first. There have been many of the dragon blood since Akatosh first bestowed that gift upon mortal kind. Whether you are the only dragonborn of this age, that is not ours to know. You are the only one that has been revealed thus far. That is all I can say. We are honored to welcome a dragonborn to High Hrothgar. We will do our best to teach you how to use your gift in fulfillment of your destiny. That is for you to discover. We can show you the way, but not your destination. You have shown that you are dragonborn. You have the inborn gift. But do you have the discipline and temperament to follow the path laid out for you? That remains to be seen. Without training, you have already taken the first steps towards projecting your voice into a thum, a shout. Now let us see if you are willing and able to learn. When you shout, you speak in the language of dragons. Thus, your dragon blood gives you an inborn ability to learn words of power. All shouts are made up of 3 words of power. As you master each word, your shout will become progressively stronger. Master Einarth will now teach you Ro, the second word in Unrelenting Force. Ro means balance in the dragon tongue. Combine it with Fus, force, to focus your thumb more sharply. Ro. You learn a new word and become master. You truly do have the gift. But learning a word of power is only the first step. You must unlock its meaning through constant practice in order to use it in a shout. Well, that is how the rest of us learn shouts. As Dragonborn, you can absorb a slain dragon's life force and knowledge directly. As part of your initiation, Master Einarth will allow you to tap into his understanding of Ro. Now, let us see how quickly you can master your new thum. Use your unrelenting force shout to strike the targets as they appear. Vik Losa!
Fus, Ro!
Vik Losa!
Fus, Ro!
Well done.
Okay, it seems like these guys, Dirkethis, hey. Seems like these guys believe I am the Dragonborn. And I might be, I don't know, my Nord daddy was a big deal.
Fus, Ro!
But so far they haven't opened up about Ulfric's Stormcloak, so let's keep digging. We may have to actually work with these guys for a little bit before they open up, so Dirkethis, just Let's do our best.
Fus, bro!
Hey, be careful!
Impressive. Your thumb is precise. You show great promise, Dragonborn. We will perform your next trial in the courtyard. Follow Master Bori.
Okay, dear Keithus, follow me. I want to see if these guys have anything interesting. Okay, Song of the Return. There's been... This is it. This is the book. A concise account of the Great War between the Empire and the Aldmeri Dominion by Legate Justinius Quintius. Author's note. Much of what is written in this book is pieced together from documents captured from the enemy during the war, interrogation of prisoners, and eyewitness accounts from surviving soldiers and Imperial officers. I myself commanded the 10th Legion in Hammerfell and Cyrodiil until I was wounded in 175, during the assault on the Imperial city. That said, the full truth of some events may never be known. I have done my best to fill in the gaps with educated conjectures based on my experience as well as my hard-earned knowledge of the enemy. We're stealing this. Okay, quick. Don't have a lot of time. The Dragon Break. In the late Third Era was a period of remarkable religious ferment and creativity. The upheavals of the reign of Imperial VII were only the outward signs. The so-called Dragon Break was first proposed at this time by a wide variety of cults and fringe sects across the Empire. The basis of the Dragon Break doctrine is now known to be rather prosaic error in the timeline printed in the otherwise authoritative Encyclopedia Tamrielica, first published in Third Era 12, during the early years of Tiber Septim's reign. Okay, interesting. We're gonna go ahead and take that because I feel like the rise and fall... Stealing that too. Sorry, Greybeards. I feel like the rise and fall of the blades is going to be connected. Connected to the Great War, right? Okay. The Lightbringer. Okay, these potions of regeneration are just... Romanata. I was hoping maybe we could find... Dirkisis, you listening? I was hoping maybe we could find like a journal or something that would actually... Or like a record of past Greybeards, but no. Okay, sorry that I'm stealing all your potions, you guys, but... The Life of Martin Septim, a short biography of Martin Septim's life. Martin Septim, the last of the Septim dynasty and Septim empires, was the son of Imperial Septim VII and a woman of an unknown status. Raised to a life in Kvatch, an unknown male farmer who was deemed worthy of raising the not-so-ordinary boy. He was raised to believe many things, including that he was the farmer's boy and that his mother had died giving birth to him. Martin had been taken to the farm after his birth by the Grandmaster of the Blades, Joffrey. He took the boy away from the palace in the middle of the night, and after being summoned by Imperial Septim VII. Stealing that. Oh, Life of Imperial Septim VII. The short life. The early decades of Imperial's life were marked by aggressive expansion and consolidation of Imperial influence throughout the Empire, but especially in the east, in Morrowind and Marsh, where the Empire's power was limited. The 16 Kingdoms period, an examination of Elsewhere's early history. Okay. Death bell. Okay. Okay. That's enough. That's enough. Let's take one more. Wait, is that Imstool? Grab that Imstool. Okay. Grab the death bell. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let's go join the Greybeards outside. And, okay, we have a lot of books to read, though. We'll do that over time, but... Can I grab your torches? No. Alright, let's head outside, dear Keithis.
We will now see how you learn a completely new shout. Master Bori will teach you Wold, which means whirlwind. Wold. You must hear the word within yourself before you can project it into a thum. Approach Master Bori and he will gift you his knowledge of wood. Now we will see how quickly you can master a new shout. Master Wulfgar will demonstrate Whirlwind Sprint. Then it will be your turn. Master Bori? Rex! Wolf! Now it's your turn. Stand next to me. Master Bori will open the gate. Use your Whirlwind Sprint to pass through before it closes. Rex!
Wolf!
Your quick mastery of a new thum is astonishing. I'd heard the stories of the abilities of Dragonborn, but to see it for myself? No, indeed not. But beware that your skill does not outstrip your wisdom. You are now ready for your last trial. Retrieve the horn of Jürgen Windcaller, our founder, from his tomb in the ancient fane of Ostengrav. Remain true to the way of the voice, and you will return. Sky above, voice within.
Wait, I have more questions, Arngeir. I actually have a lot more questions. Let me just eat a little something. No, don't walk away from me, buddy. I've got a few more questions regarding...
The others do not speak. Their voices are too powerful for you to withstand.
They don't speak. Okay, yeah, let's go inside where it's not freezing cold, and then you and I, Arngeir, we're gonna have ourselves a little conversation. Where did he go? Where did Arngeir go? Oh, they got a Nice little chamber room here. I swear that guy was right in front of us. Okay, let's it's actually a little dark in here. Let's find, well, actually we can do this, can't we? There we go. Arngeir, buddy? Where'd you go? Where did you go? Where did that bad man go? Go to bed? Arngeir? Was that you? Did you go to bed, buddy? Bori. Wolfgar. I mean, I'll go to bed too if it's bedtime. Not for Jane though, huh? Wake up, buddy. You got more questions to ask, friend.
Sky, guard you.
Okay, first off, why are the dragons returning?
No doubt, the appearance of a dragonborn at this time is not an accident. Your destiny is surely bound up with the return of the dragons. You should focus on honing your voice, and soon your path will be made clear. There is indeed much that we know that you do not. That does not mean that you are ready to understand it. Do not let your easy mastery of the voice tempt you into the arrogance of power. That has been the downfall of many dragonborn before you. He was a great war leader of the ancient Nords, a master of the voice, or tongue. After the disaster at Red Mountain, where the Nord army was annihilated, he spent many years pondering the meaning of that terrible defeat. He finally came to realize that the gods had punished the Nords for their arrogant and blasphemous misuse of the voice. He was the first to understand that the voice should be used solely for the glory and worship of the gods, not the glory of men. Jurgen Windcaller's mastery of the voice eventually overcame all opposition, and the way of the voice was born. Wind, guide you. Your training proceeds well. The voice was a gift of the goddess Kinnereth at the dawn of time. She gave mortals the ability to speak as dragons do. Although this gift has often been misused, the only true use of the voice is for the worship and glory of the gods. True mastery of the voice can only be achieved when your inner spirit is in harmony with your outward actions. In the contemplation of the sky, Kinnereth's domain, and the practice of the voice, we strive to achieve this balance. The Dragonborn is an exception to all the rules. The dragon blood itself is a gift of the gods. If we accept one gift, how can we deny the other? As Dragonborn, you have received the ability to shout directly from Akatosh. We therefore seek to guide you on the proper use of your gift, which transcends the restrictions which bind other mortals. Breath and focus. Sky above, voice within.
So we just learned something interesting. They will not teach someone other than the Dragonborn. They will not teach someone who does not follow their philosophy, which is that the voice, the Thu'um, is only to be used to praise the gods. Meaning that Ulfric Stormcloak, when he was here and he was being taught the way of the voice, he was a peaceful man. He must have been. He was using the Thu'um to honor the gods. Meaning it was only the Great War that caused him to leave the way of the voice and become violent with his use of the Thu'um. Interesting.
We study the way of the voice according to the teachings of our founder, Jurgen Windcaller. Very few are permitted to study with us here at High Hrothgar. But in your case, Dragonborn, it is a privilege to guide you towards mastery of your voice. 5. Our leader, Parthenax, lives alone on the peak of the throat of the world. When your voice can open the path, you will know you are ready to speak to him. Breath and focus.
Okay. This is actually kind of... Dear Keithis, are you listening? This is actually kind of tragic. It seems that our boy Ulfric at one point kind of was idyllic. Naive, maybe. He wanted to follow the way of the voice. And remember, he is a Jarl's son. He could have stayed in Windhelm, lived a lavish life, but no, he chose to come up here, gave up all of his possessions, and to follow a peaceful path of honoring the gods with the way of the voice. But at some point, he knew that he needed to fight in the Great War. He knew that he needed to battle the Thalmor. So I think for now, dear Keithis, we've kind of learned all we can from the Greybeards. I say we do it though. I say we go out there and we find the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. There's definitely more to learn here. But before we do, let's check out a couple of these books, because once again, if we can learn more about the Great War, we're then going to learn more about Ulfric Stormcloak, because the Great War is the thing that took him from this peaceful, idyllic life. The Rise of the Thalmor. Although it is not well known, Somerset Isle suffered from the Oblivion Crisis as much as Cyrodiil did. The elves made war upon the Oblivion invaders, occasionally even crossing over to close down Oblivion gates. As a nation, they had more successes than Cyrodiil did, although the limitless Daedric hordes made the outcome a foregone conclusion. The Thalmor had always been a powerful faction within Somerset Isle, but it had also always been a minority voice. During the crisis, the Crystal Tower was forced to give the Thalmor greater power and authority. Their efforts almost certainly saved Somerset Isle from being overrun. They capitalized on their success to seize total control in 4th Era 22. They renamed the nation Alinor, which harkens back to an earlier age before the ascendancy of man. Most people outside of the Aldmeri Dominion still call it Somerset Isle, either out of peevishness or ignorance. In 4th Era 29, the government of Valenwood was overthrown by Thalmor collaborators and a union with Alinor proclaimed. It appears that Thalmor agents had formed close ties to certain Bosmeri factions even before the Oblivion Crisis. The Empire and its Bosmer allies, caught completely off guard, were quickly defeated by the much better prepared Altmer forces that invaded Valenwood on the heels of the coup. Thus was the Aldmeri Dominion reborn. Shortly after the Aldmeri Dominion served all contact within the Empire, for 70 years they were silent. Most scholars believe there was some sort of internal strife in Alinor, but very little is known of the factional struggles that went on inside the Dominion while the Thalmor consolidated its power in Somerset and Valenwood. In 4th Era 98, the two moons, Massor and Secunda, vanished. Within most of the Empire, this was viewed with trepidation and fear, and elsewhere it was far worse. Culturally, the moons are much more influential to the Khajiit. After 2 years of the Void Nights, the moons returned. The Thalmor announced that they had restored the moons using previously unknown dawn magics, but it is unclear if they truly restored the moons or just took advantage of foreknowledge that they would return. Regardless of the truth of the matter, the Khajiit credited the Thalmor as their saviors. Within 15 years, Imperial influence in elsewhere had so diminished that the Empire was unable to respond effectively to a coup in 4th Era 115, which dissolved the Elsewhere Confederacy and recreated the ancient kingdoms of Anaquina and Palatine as client states of the Aldmeri Dominion. Once more, the Empire failed to stop the advance of Thalmor power. When Titus Mede II ascended the throne in 4th Era 168, he inherited a weakened empire. The glory days of the Septums were a distant memory. Valenwood and elsewhere were gone, ceded to the Thalmor enemy. Blackmarsh had been lost to Imperial rule since the aftermath of the Oblivion Crisis. Morrowind had never recovered fully from the eruption of Mount Vardenfell. Hammerfell was plagued by infighting between the Crowns and the Forebears. Only High Rock, Cyrodiil, and Skyrim remained prosperous and peaceful. Emperor Titus Mede had only a few short years to consolidate his rule before his leadership was put to the ultimate test. The war begins. Okay. Let's pause there. We've got a lot to think about. The rise of the Thalmor and how the Empire kind of just let it happen under their noses. I mean, who do we blame for this? Because the rise of the Thalmor and the Great War are ultimately what led to the Civil War here in Skyrim. So Jane is just kind of peeling back layers of the onion here, figuring out little by little what caused the Civil War in Skyrim. How did Ulfric become a heroic figure to the Nords? And which side is truly the smarter side to join? You know, you got to think about the short game, you got to think about the long game. There's a lot going through Jane's mind. I mean, she fought with the Imperial Legion for close to 10 years. She knows tactics, and she knows battle strategies. So at this moment, she's basically trying to decide if it's really the best decision to join Ulfric Stormcloak. Now, the Greybeards did not give her any direct knowledge of Ulfric, but they did give her knowledge. And they did give her a little bit of an understanding into who Ulfric was before the Great War started, before he quit or was exiled from the Greybeards. I think Jane and Derkeithis are going to hunt down the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. They're going to figure that all out before she returns to Ulfric and returns him the Jagged Crown. But I think we're going to do that in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching the Johnny Guitar channel, and we will see you next time we play Skyrim Anniversary Edition, Brutal Survival.
Yeah.